Hello, parents. I hope your day is going really, really well. I'm back again with another video with some lessons that I want to talk about for your students. So, one thing that we're going to focus on this year is media literacy. So, media literacy is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media. The good thing about this is that I think it definitely gives the youth a way to understand the complex messages that we receive from television, from radio, internet, newspapers, magazines, books, billboards, video games, etc. Even music has a really big impact on this. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because there's so many different outcomes and actually learning about these processes. So one, information literacy is very important because it helps you define, articulate information needs, and it's very important to be. It's very, very, very important to be information. I mean, to have information literacy because it is important that you are locating and accessing information properly, and that you know how to access information, that you know how to organize information, that you know how to make use of ethical information, and most importantly, the skills for processing the information. Because one of the biggest things that I noticed with a lot of students is that students are able to retain certain information, they're able to remember it, but they aren't able to actually internalize it and regurgitate that back to me. And so I think that adding that literacy with the media literacy, which is kind of, understanding the roles and the functions of media in democratic societies, and understanding conditions under which media can fulfill their functions. Media, especially with, like I mentioned last week, especially with social media becoming a big thing in children's lives, we need to really make sure that we are getting them prepared for being smart while using media, because so many students get into situations that they can't get themselves out of, or that they're afraid to talk about because they allow media to control them. And it's very, very important as a parent that we're watching our children to make sure that they're not using media for wrong intentions, because once again, whatever you post on the internet, it stays. And so we have to make sure that we're getting the students aware of these things, because in the future they're going to have to apply to colleges, they're going to have to apply for jobs, and those things do stay in the system. And so I definitely think that this also goes along the lines of critically evaluating media content in the light of the media functions, and it engages for self-expression, and at the end, you students will produce user-generated content. And so I think that it's very, very nice that we're talking about media information now, because it's a way for them to build their online profile right now. And it's a way for them to build a profile that can be used for professional reasons, and when they are using it for entertainment, they're not going overboard and they're not misusing it, like I mentioned before. So one of the things I think is very, very important that we teach in education, because like I said before, social media is a really, really, really big thing right now. And so being able to have students learn these things, it's so much easier for them to navigate the system, and it's so much easier for them to be able to do certain things. So, for example, if I was to implement this in a social studies course, many students will be able to, read statistics, and they'll be able to assess assess the statistics behind the representations of what is being represented. Also, too, they'll be able to read and interpret, graphs, and understanding charts and tables and timelines and political cartoons, which is very, very important, especially around election time. And I think that it's beneficial for students to know. And also seeing the social world through a perspective of others, and understanding why crises impact people differently. And it's very, very important that students are able to actually navigate and see what people are posting on Facebook, because, on Facebook, on Instagram, on any kind of media, I think in general, because I think that a lot of stuff that people are posting, it kind of lets the student understand that, you're not the only person that's going through the situation. I think it also puts implications on what you should and what you should not be posting. I think that if students know what they should and shouldn't be posting, then it'll be a lot easier. And so there's 5 key questions of media literacy. So the first is authorship. So all media messages are constructed. Who created this message? And so for students, especially when they're building their media information profiles, because it's going to be one of their projects during the school year, we're really going to touch on the implications of who created this message? Who are you, and why, and who do you want to specifically reach out to? Also, format. So media messages are constructed using a creative language with its own rules. So what creative techniques are used to attract my attention? So we're going to really get into that as well, because when these students are building media, they need to make sure that they're reaching out to either themselves or they're reaching out to people that they feel that this could, benefit in a way. And so, having that having that creative language within your media and having creative techniques makes it authentically you. And so it makes the consumers very interested, because then they get a sense of who you are, but they also get a relatable sense of, wow, this person speaks like me, or this person, uses the same language as me. So now I feel comfortable within this media content page. Also, audience. So different people experience the same media message differently. How might people understand this message differently from me? And so I think one of the biggest things with their profile that I'm going to have them do is I'm going to have them critique each other's profile to see, what did you think? How did you feel? What do you think other people might think? Is this the message that is the message that is being out, is it portrayed in the right way? But also too, is it promoting the stereotype? Is it promoting prejudice? Is it supporting misrepresentation? And so it's very important that we also touch on that as well. I also think content, because media is embedded with values and points of views. So what lifestyle values and points of views are represented or omitted from this message? And so I definitely think that it's very important that students think about this when they are doing their media presentations, because it kind of thinks of a way, okay, what lifestyle goals am I going to go for? So am I going to go for like more so a traveling lifestyle goal, or am I going to go for more of a eating healthy, dieting type? And then like what values are associated with that? So like of course values wouldn't be like if you were doing weight loss, supplements or whatever. You would try to think of more holistic approaches. So like maybe like walking for 45 minutes every day, or like maybe making meal prepping. So like learning different like meal prep styles, learning different foods to eat, which foods are healthy. So maybe you might pick salmon over red meat and things like that. And so I think that that's super important that we also touch on those aspects, because it helps with the student in their development in their media. And then finally, the purpose. So most media profiles, or in general, are organized to gain profit or power. But why are you sending this message? So why do you think it's important that other people need to know? Like, will they be using it to start a business plan? Will they be using it to actually help people? Would it be a nonprofit? Would it be something that they would use to just get the word out to people? And so I think that also having those 5 key questions built in within this assignment that is going to be due really helps the student reflect on social media and really see how media impacts not only the world but the people around it, and how media definitely puts this idea of what an ideal person should be, or what an ideal situation should be, or how you should live and how you should look. And it goes really deep between body image and like what skin complexion, and it even can go to one of the biggest things right now is how you should dress. Like style is a big thing right now, and so just kind of having those little small details inside the project is definitely going to make it work for the student. And so I'm very excited, to share this with you all, because it is a project that I think that you're going to have a good time with helping your student. But I also want you to engage, because I want you to be able to help your child navigate through media and understand that media is definitely something that's important when you're trying to build not only, a persona for yourself, but a digital profile. And so being able to like express that digital profile, I think is very important. I think that a lot of students will like it. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. And I hope you take this into consideration as the semester goes on. Thank you.